Joseph. Okay, Madison, can you record? The United Nations is an assembly of peace and precision. It was founded on the principles of security and friendship. Now, according to the UN.org, all 193 countries gather there to talk about propositions such as climate control and international trade. Now, since 1945, it's been making a difference inside and outside of countries, during times of crisis and during times of jubilee. However, a recent controversy and topic that came about during the UN conference with President Trump has been shaking up that dream. The accusations of China and its infringement on national political ground of America. Now, what happens when the political contract is broken? Infringement sets in and sovereignty is broken. What does it mean for the United Nations? What does it mean for our allies? And what does it mean for the American people? Now, though most of my sources are credited through the Northwest Florida State database, many of my credits come from the televised CNN radio stations and newspapers. Now, as we continue to go into this and how each supposed infringement controversy affects our alliances with other countries, how it affects us, and how it affects our allies, I'm going to go into how the United Nations is as a whole. Where does America fit in? And why do we matter? Why do we care? Now, what does it mean for the United Nations? The United Nations are a big organization made of big and small countries. Big countries such as the Big Five, known as the United States, America, France, Russia, and China, all of which are allies. And even the small countries such as Azerbaijan. Now, due to the contributions each country continues to supply, the Big Five are like brothers and sisters to the smaller countries. Now, with that being said, what happens when the smaller countries fight amongst themselves? And the bigger countries fight amongst themselves. It becomes a free-for-all. Now, as the ongoing investigation stands, the U.S. sovereignty in U.S. elections, by definition, sovereignty is the supreme power, especially within a political body. Now, President Trump also called out North Korea, into which China does back from Beijing, saying that it is willing to totally destroy, in President Trump's words, for the sake of self-defense. Now, this could throw everything out of whack and create a vast amount of conflict between the big and the small countries, leading to an economic downsurge. Now, as far as our allies, what does this do for the American allies? Well, China is one of our allies. Adamantly denying their allegations made by President Trump during the recent interviews, they said they have never and never will meddle within U.S. affairs, especially for political reasons. Now, China is one of the world's largest export companies. America rests at third. Now, Balance MD says that China exports things like refined petroleum, space materials, cars, things of that matter. Now, alongside with China, America imports and exports Chinese and American goods. Three of which of the traders' top three are Mexico, Canada, and China. Now, breaking this chain can lead to catastrophic economic downlines between the countries that are supported by Mexico, Canada, America, and China, and for the smaller countries that depend on them for trade. Now, in the words of President Trump, security is number one. president went back and forth with the representative of China over several issues. And one in particular was the meddling of American farmers in food stores. Now, even though only 9% of food stores, particularly consumer goods such as beverages, make up 9%, it's still an $18 billion industry. Now, where would all that money come from, all the missing money, if we back out of China for infringement of sovereignty? Well, it would go straight to our taxes, to our future government funding, to how everything costs as it is now. Now, that is what makes it so terrifying. Now, as American people with an understanding of world ties, is it up to us as a nation to either support or negate President Trump's ideals? If this is, as President Trump would say, fake news, then the continuing countries and the remaining countries will continue to survive on that peace and friendship that was sought after so long ago. However, if these allegations prove to be true, it can send the entire world into an instability and possibly even war. So the seriousness of security and infringement of sovereignty does not just rest on the national level, but is in the security of our bank accounts, the security of our families, the security of their future government funding, and the security of our everyday lives. Ta-da!